I don't need a babysitter anymore.
Dude, what the fuck is in that milk?
I'm sorry I let you get attacked by a werewolf and then into the world.
What's up, guys? Oldhead Mike here. Welcome to our review for The Babysitter Killer Queen, sequel to the first Babysitter movie from 2017 on Netflix. You'll give me a like and subscribe before we start. It really helps me out. Really trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber goal, and I'm so close I can taste it. But anyways, let's jump right in. So this is a direct sequel to the first Babysitter movie. It takes place 2 years after the events of the first one. Even though obviously this makes no sense because it's been actually 3 years since the movie was released. It was actually filmed 5 years ago, and these kids are grown as fuck. They should have just said it was like 3 years or something just to help offset a little bit, because it's kind of distracting because these are supposed to be 14-year-olds and these kids are clearly 20. Now, I won't go too much into the plot. There are several twists in this movie. Don't want to ruin that for you. So this is completely spoiler free. You can continue watching without getting scared. Surprisingly enough, I watched the first Babysitter last night for the first time, not knowing that the second one was coming out today. It's been on my list for forever, since before I knew who Samara Weaving was. I just knew it was like 80s style horror comedy. I just never got around to it. I don't really know why, and last night I was in the mood for it, so I pulled it up. We watched it as our movie night, and then was like, sometimes when I watch movies, I like to go see if, there's any YouTube stuff on it, some theories, reviews, all kinds of stuff. I just like to watch YouTube a lot too. And I came across the trailer for this one, Killer Queen, and it was like, this comes out tomorrow. It's like, bro, what the fuck kind of coincidence is that? So here we are. Figured I might as well do a review for it. Perfect timing. Now both movies are fresh in my mind. So still stars Judah Lewis as Cole, who was also in Summer of '84 on Shudder. I reviewed that. Samara Weaving from Ready or Not, Bill and Ted Face the Music. Just check out the rest of my channel because I've reviewed all of these. However, I have to mention, if you came for Samara Weaving, yes, she's in it, but only in about 10 minutes of scenes. It's not a spoiler. She just doesn't show up till later. It's kind of weird. I'm guessing maybe because she was working on Bill and Ted, and so she didn't have time for this film as much. I don't know, but it's definitely kind of low point because she's quickly risen to be one of our favorites actresses, especially in the over-the-top horror genre. She's great in everything she's in, and it was kind of, we were like, where's she at? Where's she at? When's she gonna show up? And she took her sweet time. Now, I had a lot of fun with this film, though I will say it wasn't as much as fun as the first one. The first one had the spooky, menacing atmosphere with a lot of comedy behind it, just to kind of offset it, I think it had the perfect balance for a horror comedy. This one is kind of a comedy horror, if that makes sense. You still get, crazy, gross kills, with a mixture of practical CGI effects. You get some supernatural themes, real cool stuff like that. But they really take a background to the story that they're trying to tell. They flesh out the lore a little bit more, and a whole lot of comedy. There's just comedies that's right in your face. I'll say it does detract when compared to the first film, but still, the comedy is great. The jokes hit every time. I was laughing pretty much the whole movie. So, they still did a good job on that. But I definitely miss, the atmosphere of the first one. Robbie Amell and Andrew Bachelor definitely steal the show. Still, they did a great job every time they were on the screen. They just had me laughing my ass off. They were great. Overall, though, I will say that it's a lot of the film also kind of feels like they ripped off a lot of style from Scott Pilgrim. Like there's a dance number, video game fight scene, a lot more text overlays, all that kind of stuff. Like this is literally rated R Scott Pilgrim. So you just still kind of miss the atmosphere of the first one. I will say the best part of the film is that they got the entire cast from the first one to play in this one. Every single person, except for the bullies maybe, reprised their roles. Even the nurse that gives them the shot in the beginning of the first movie, they're all in it. The chemistry of all the actors is impeccable. Dialogue is good for the most part. I will say that they have some weird, slow, emotional, touching scenes. And these scenes are not spaced very far apart. So when all this craziness that's going on pauses, they start playing some sad music, and then they go into some dialogue or flashbacks. They do it like within minutes of each other, so you're kind of just like, not this again, So it's kind of, sometimes it can be kind of jarring amidst the over-the-top comedy and blood that you get assaulted with this movie. If they would have just made those scenes maybe a little bit more ironic, or just made like one big emotional scene, I don't know, it's just something off about that. It could have been a lot better with that, but it definitely, and they definitely don't hit the same emotional levels as the end scene of the first one between Cole and B.
I loved you.
Overall, though, if you're a fan of The Babysitter, I think you'll still like this one. You get a lot of the elements of the first one, especially like the dialogue and the comedy. There's still some jump scares, you get the supernatural themes and some stuff like that, but just don't expect it to be heavy on the horror as the first one. Overall, still very fun. Just has some flaws, but I was still laughing my ass off. You get to see bloody kills. It's a fun time, and it's on Netflix. Watch it. 7 out of 10. Also, how are you gonna name drop and reference like 25 million movies from the 80s, and you have a sequence with a cabin in the woods, but you don't mention The Evil Dead? 6 out of 10. Anyways, thanks for coming. Really appreciate you guys supporting me. If you'll give me a like and subscribe, it means so much to me. You can find my social medias down below. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to review. I'm always here, always reading comments. So yeah, again, thanks for coming by. Oldhead Mike signing off, reminding you, never too old.
Someday, love will find you. Break those chains and bind you. One night will be blind.